Hey, everybody, thanks for joining today. And today we're going to break down how we are buying a house with just $100 down. And we're going to break down the step by step of exactly how this whole deal went down. And we're going to analyze it together so you could see how this was a win. So I want to kind of cut right into it. But Joanne, she reached out to us. And I want to kind of bring up a point. We're filming, it's the end of January 2025. She reached out to us July 15th, 2023. Okay. So when she reached out to us, her very first message was, "Are you BBB rated? Do you have any references or a way to verify your company?" That was the first thing that she did. So Joanne, she found our post in Facebook. And this is why I love social media, because we're able to share all over anywhere we want to target. Now, this property is in upstate New York. That's where we're from. That's where we started this. And so this is where this lead is, because that's what we're looking after. So Joanna reached out to us because she's getting older. The house is a little bit too much for her to maintain. So she wanted to sell. And back in July 2023, she said that she would like to sell the house in the next 2 to 3 months. She gives us the address. We start asking some questions through Messenger. So this is why our process, I think, is so easy. Somebody sees a Facebook post, they reach out to us. We did not cold call her. We didn't knock on her door, nothing. So it's like digitally driving for dollars, right? She saw our post and she's reaching out now. Love it. So Joanna reached out to us and she said, "I want to sell in the next 2 to 3 months. House is a little bit too big for her, hard to maintain, beautiful property, really nice area of town." So when after we got to talking with her, her big why was that she wanted a quick, easy sale, and she wanted it as is. She didn't want to have to deal with repairs and maintenance. The house needs a roof, needs some stuff in the inside, but nothing major. But because of speed and convenience, she's willing to cut us a deal. But we're closing this deal in March 2025. So it took us a year and a half of following up with Joanne. So this is usually one of the biggest things we have as real estate investors. We want to talk to a seller. We want to make that deal on the very first phone call. And that's so hard to do sometimes, right? So the fact is, we had that conversation. We gathered the information. We found out she was a motivated seller. So that was a big plus, right? We found out why she wants to sell, how soon, what does she want for the property? And then we asked her, "Joanne, if I pay that price, would you be open to doing owner financing?" She said, "Sure, I would do that." So this was for us a no-brainer back in 2023. But fast forward now, 2025, she would say yes to a deal and then things would happen and she would go sick. She would go missing, not like really missing, but she would just be like ghosting us for a little while, but we would follow up with her and then she'd always come back. So this was the key. So we attracted a lead through Facebook. She came in, we asked her some questions, found out she was motivated. We got on a call with her, okay? And we're gonna do the deal breakdown here because this is my favorite part of the whole process. So when we talked to her, we mentioned we do seller financing. She said, "Sure." So Lexi gets on the phone with Joanne. They have some conversation. They build up a rapport.
Lexi is our acquisitionist for anyone who's listening and may not know that.
So Lexi calls. She says that she will be open to doing the deal with us. The way we structured the deal is that Joanne really wanted $160 for her house. Now, it's worth $250 if it has the new roof and if it had the new kitchen and all the things, and it doesn't though. So at $160, it's still a pretty good deal. But the thing was, she was open to doing owner financing where we could buy it, close on it, and just take over her existing payment. And we bought that property with $100 down. Her big thing wasn't, she didn't need a big down payment. And the reason why I love the deal so much, so I've got some equity worth $250 approximately. She's wanting $160 for the house. I'm buying it with $100 down, and we're taking over. She's got an existing payment with taxes and insurance, just a little over $900 a month. So she's got a really, really low payment. So the value of the deal is real estate 101, location, location, location. It's across the street from the lake. You could literally see it out the front of the house, big commercial garage. The deal is absolutely beautiful. $100 down. Her $900 payment is what we would have to pay to her lender, and I forgot what bank it is, but we got it in the notes. And it probably rents for $1,800 for that property. So once we were able to buy it, Joanne's big question is, well, when am I going to get my equity? Because at the $160 price, she owes less than that. So when we told her that we typically buy with no money down because we're going to buy it as is, We're going to make the house beautiful. So Joanne gave us a 7-year term until what we have to do is get her cashed out. So either we're going to do rent to own and our renters buy it. There's many different choices there. So when we're talking about deals, my favorite thing is like, why does this deal make sense? Right? How do we find her? Right? And all of these big things. And this is the easiest thing of all what we do. And everything's pretty simple. The biggest factor is you got to generate leads. You got to talk to a motivated seller. Stop wasting your time with the people that aren't motivated. And I think you and I have spent how many hours of our lives getting back talking to unmotivated sellers who really weren't interested in selling their house.
Yeah, well, I think that you need to maybe explain what motivated means to people. Like, obviously, because some people might look at her and say she's not motivated because she wanted a quick and easy sale, but that did not happen in July, August, September, so on and so forth from 2023, 24, and now we're into 25. So one might say she's not really motivated, Joe.
That you do bring up a great point. She wanted a quick and easy sale. The house wasn't market ready. So these were all indicators. And when we talk to a seller and we're like, why do you want to sell it? House is too big for her, too much to maintain. She's just there by herself. How soon do you want to sell it? 2 to 3 months, right? Does the house need repairs? It does need some repairs. And it's got some stuff in it. And her big thing is...
Well, I think we need to elaborate a little bit. It's got more than some stuff.
Oh, it's got a whole lot of stuff.
It's got a lot of stuff. So, I think also... she is motivated, but I think there's more to that story of why. So yes, she got sick or had some surgeries done, but she's extremely embarrassed right now about the stuff in her house. And so that is a real concern for a lot of people. And I think that it's not really talked about enough. I know that we've been in some trainings where some really heavy hitters who do a lot of deals, this is where they start peeling back the layers of like, what is the reason this person is not listing on market? And Joanne is a perfect example of she's all by herself. She has a lot of stuff, like to the point where she doesn't want somebody coming over. And I think that, you just have to have a really big heart and be super compassionate. And then in this case, extremely patient because it's been over almost 2 years this summer. By the time we actually get this thing closed, I know you're hoping March, but it is New York.
And she says she wants to do March, so hopefully we're getting closer to the date.
Yeah.
But now we put it under contract. The paperwork is at the attorney's office, and now it's just getting everything in motion. So you're right. She is motivated. She was motivated a year and a half ago, but over time, her circumstances have changed and she's became more motivated, right? So great example of talking to a seller who's motivated, and the deal doesn't always happen that very first conversation, and the follow-up, and you have to be patient. I wish it was as simple as buying like a pair of shoes where I go in the store, I try them on, life is good, I pay and I leave with them. But that's not how real estate works. And sometimes we made deals the same day I've talked to them first time.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It just depends on the situation. Like in her case, there's not another place she's moved into. She's paying 2 mortgages or a rent and a mortgage or any of that. Her situation is entirely different. So it's just really being able to kind of be a chameleon in a sense of like, how do you handle this one seller versus another one who's already like, hey, I moved to Texas, like help me, like take over my house payments. Like my wife needs to get here with me. There's, different levels of motivation, but also pain points for sure here.
Yeah.
And just being very extra mindful in this case.
Well, and I think the thing too is really great for her. She liked is the flexibility that she had of dealing with us, because if a normal person, or not normal, but normal situation that you sell the house, the people buying it most likely are going to plan on moving into it. Right. And so with us and normal folks who are going to want to move into the house, they might not have waited a year and a half or almost 2 years, right? Why they waited for her to be ready. So part of why I think folks love working with us is we do buy it as is. We could be flexible on the closing date and work around what she has going on in her life to make it easy peasy for her. She's going to take all the important things with her and all the things of value. But if there's anything that she doesn't want, we've told her many times, leave it behind. No reason to hire a company or to go do it. I know it's overwhelming. Leave it for us. We'll take care of it. Our contractor, shout out Kevin, you're going to have your hands full, but it's helping folks. And when you could talk to Joanne and you could see the relief in her voice and you could see how happy and thrilled that she is, that she's finally getting closer to that finish line and it's happening. And so it's been really exciting.
Be transparent, it's not easy to get somebody to get Kevin in there right now. She's so embarrassed. So it's just like
Mhm.
really working with her, like, because this is a virtual deal for us. So we're in Florida, Kevin's in New York, but like, how do we like virtually hug Joanne and be like, hey, like everything's going to be okay. We just want to get our guy in there and just kind of check things out. And so there's little obstacles along the way, but there's nothing that's unmanageable. And I think that's something I just wanted to bring up too, because some deals they're like clean as can be, everything closes, everything's like hunky dory. And there's others that just, this one is just a little bit of a snail's pace here.
You know what? And that's why here's the big things all investors have to do. Number one, you have to generate new leads constantly. You can't just be focusing on one deal and hopefully it's closing soon, as you can see in this circumstances. So generating new leads constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Number two thing is follow up with your old leads that you've already spoke to, right? And the third big thing, get on the phone and talk to motivated sellers, right? And if you could just generate new leads, follow up with the old leads that haven't closed yet, and just get on the phone and talk to the most motivated people, guys, you're going to have deals. You're going to have great conversations. And this is how you're going to put this together. And you can't just always hope it's the first try. You got to follow up. And no, I don't even know who invented it, but they say the fortune is in the follow up. This is so true, especially with real estate. It is a little bit of a slower game, right?
On some of these deals, for
on
sure.
some of them, for
Do
sure.
you happen to know when we wrote up her contract? Did we get it under contract and kind of like said, okay, well, we're going to circle back to it, or did we just put it under contract?
I think we put it under contract in December. So today is January 31st of when we're recording. So this happened in December is when we wrote up the agreement. We wrote it up that we were going to set closing for up to, I think it was 6 months, because she was just trying to get her last affairs in order. And then she said, okay, I've got everything all set. Let's close March. So here we go. Now it's starting to get to the go time. And
so how often were we following up, would you say? Like, what does that follow-up process look like from July of 2023? Because I remember being in Canandaigua, New York, walking around downtown, like thinking, oh my gosh, this is like not that far from here, when we were visiting family and friends up north. And here we are, like this far along.
Feels like a lifetime ago.
It really does.
How long ago that was.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, was it like an every week, every 30 days?
So we are following up weekly, consistently every week. If we're getting close to making a deal, it could be a daily call, right? When you say, hey, Joe, listen, we got a deal. I'll do it. These numbers, great. And we need to get on a call to go over the agreement and get this okayed. I'm calling you every day at this point, right? And so she was a weekly call because she would say, hey, I have a doctor's appointment. Let's connect next week. I've got surgery. Can we connect in 2 more weeks? I want to recover. But we just took really great notes. We consistently followed up all of the time, but not overbearing, not pressuring her. This wasn't a pressure thing because we generate so many new leads that I don't have to focus on just one. But I know that we're going to follow up with her consistently. And then here it is. And we're probably, if I had to guess, we might not have been the only person that she's talked to about buying her house.
Well, I was just wondering that too, because again, it's like literally on her phone or computer or iPad, who knows how she found us, but it was on Facebook, that's for sure. And so again, like our ad comes across her screen and she hits get quote or she comments, and next thing you know, we're talking with her for years, and this property hasn't even come close to like hitting market at all whatsoever. I don't think she's even spoken to a realtor.
No.
So there's so many Joannes out there, I guess, is really my point that I wanted to bring up, because there's billions of people on Facebook, and I know that a lot of people view social media as such a negative place, because it can be, and I totally agree with that. But if you just put on your lenses of like, who can I help today? And you put yourself out there, whether it is our free generating leads, how you can go into Facebook groups or simply post on your Facebook personal page, or you are running sponsored ads. Either way you do it, like your like message needs to go across on Facebook consistently so that you can help people like Joanne.
Well, and so just to touch on it, the week after she reached out to us initially, she writes, I don't have any rooms that aren't full. And she capitalized the word full of moving and other boxes. I'll send pictures when I clear rooms. It's a difficult task because I'm sick with Lyme disease.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Right. So obviously she's got some things going on. Thank you for your understanding. I'm trying hard to organize the boxes in each room. So she could obviously, I'm going to physical therapy, so I haven't done much yet. I mean, and I could see it's like July, August. Here we are, September. I've been quite sick with Lyme disease. Also, I had foot surgery. So I'm not trying to, whatever, but there's like a lot of these conversations. She's going through Facebook Marketplace. It's really slow going, but she's getting the stuff cleared out of her house. And it's nonstop. And our team really did a great job facing shoulder surgery for a torn rotator cuff because I fell. I'm slowly working on getting you pictures. It's life at my age, I guess. I need to be patient is what she said to us. Not us, but she needed to be patient because she wanted to move out sooner than that. So, back to the doctors and all these things are happening to her. So it's,
so you're saying people need to have conversations with their sellers so they can really find out what's going on, because you might assume one thing like, oh, this lady's just blowing me off here. She doesn't want to sell her house actually. And in reality, the questions that we're asking and keeping her engaged, she's just telling us more of what's going on.
And the thing is we have to be compassionate for other people. Right. And so she's in a situation right now, this lady, she's by herself. She's got a foot surgery. She's got Lyme disease. She's got a fall that had a torn rotator cuff. Like, this lady is going through a lot. So the fact that we are able to just be super patient and be there for her when she needs us to, right? And know that we're able to truly help her. We'll make money on the deal, sure of it, right? It's going to be over years. This isn't some like home run deal or anything, but it's a nice property and I really like it. I like the deal itself. So it has a lot of things there. But more importantly, like, can we help other humans? And that's the thing why I love about real estate, because like you mentioned, she's embarrassed. She doesn't want that. She doesn't want the photos online, and she doesn't want the neighbors to know what her house looks like. And so to her, having this kind of like sneaky sale on her end where she's just able to walk out, grab her stuff and go and not have to worry about all that, she's thrilled. And she loves us. She loves Lexi. She loves this experience. She's thankful of how we're able to work around all of the challenges that she's had and put this deal together and help her with her real estate problem, because she's got one. Right?
Yeah. So this is definition of a motivated seller who needed some time, unlike someone who's make me an offer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not giving you my address.
Yep, on the zip code. So, she's wonderful, and I'm glad that we could help her. So shout out, Joanne. We're going to turn this house back to beautiful like you wanted to, and it's going to be a beautiful home with an amazing view of the water across the street. So, but this is how you're going to be able to do these deals, guys. So if you're listening, generate leads, follow up with leads, be nice to people, right? Call, talk to them on the phone, make offers. And if you just do that consistently, one message, one phone call could change everything. It could be a really big event. So just keep being consistent. And if you keep on moving forward, even there's little speed bumps along the way, success is yours.
Absolutely. So be compassionate, be kind, and go out there and help people.
Yeah. So once again, thank you for tuning in to Creative Finance Playbook with Jen and Joe.